I'll go with my number 3. This is a more recent one. This is Jay Cutler related. So the question is, what if Jay Cutler does not get hurt in that NFC title game? I believe it's 2011. So, they're playing the Green Bay Packers in Chicago because the Bears did win the division. I remember very vividly that Cutler was out of the game for some reason. He wasn't in the blue tent. I don't think they had the blue tent back then. And he was just kind of walking around the sideline with his helmet off. We didn't really know what was going on. I was like, this guy quit on the team? Like, what was happening?
That was the narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then we end up finding out that he had sprained his MCL, and the team, ended up playing Caleb Haney at the time. They lose, I believe, 21-14 to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Again, a team that they had beaten earlier in the year. They had split that series and won the division. And I do think that, with the team that they had a elite defense. They still had the DNA of that other Super Bowl defense with Urlacher and Briggs and Israel Donajay. Mm-hmm. They added Julius Peppers. So it was just like littered with Hall of Famers. And I really think that, the what if is if Cutler was healthy, they obviously have a legit shot at winning an NFC title game at home against a team they had already beaten earlier in the year. And then they would have been a great matchup for the Steelers, who were pretty good on offense. They had the number 1 defense. So I think it would have been a really fascinating Super Bowl, and one that I think, the Bears would have gotten a legit chance in. What do you think?
Was that Steelers Seahawks, or was that Steelers Cardinals that ended up being?
That ended up being Steelers Packers. So that was the year that
Steelers Packers. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was 2010, the 2010 season. And that was the one that, Aaron Rodgers ended up winning. It was a pretty good game, but
sure. Yeah, they could have made a Super Bowl run with Cutler. Again, Cutler, he was a gunslinger, so who knows if he would have had a costly turnover or something. I love Jay Cutler. I feel like he got a lot of blame that he deserved, and I think he got a lot of blame that he didn't deserve. Again, when I go back to all the different offenses he had to learn in such a short period of time. Actually, I'll say Adam Gase made the comment when he was hired as the offensive coordinator under John Fox, and he had just finished coaching Peyton Manning to a Super Bowl the year before. He made the comment that Jay Cutler was, football-wise, the smartest player he'd ever been around, which,
high praise.
This guy just coached Peyton Manning, so that's saying something. But at the same time, man, he loved that arm of his so much that I could fit this anywhere, and that got him in trouble sometimes. So it was really hard to count on Jay Cutler.
The term for that is arm arrogance. I've heard it.
Yes.
For guys like him, Brett Favre, in recent years, Josh Allen. I've heard that arm arrogance being thrown around. So, yeah, I think it is fair that you couldn't completely count on Jay Cutler, but I do think obviously if he's healthy, then
my bias is going to jump in and say yes. We could. We had a quarterback. Caleb Haney wasn't beating anybody. We had a quarterback. We were close in that game without Cutler at the end. So yeah, we could have gone to the Super Bowl, and I feel like we definitely, that Steelers team was good, but they weren't, they weren't a team that we were going to look at. And
I think they had the 20th ranked offense or something in the NFL. So it would have been an interesting matchup of two elite level defenses. Cause as I said, the Steelers did have the number 1 defense in the NFL that year.
So that's like James Harrison and Yep.
Incredible. Troy Polamalu in his prime, those guys.